Ellis Cinema back, another dish. How we doing out there? Good, great, grand, yan, puke. As you see on your screen, your dial, however, you are unfortunately choosing to join me today, and it is unfortunate. There's so many other podcasts that you could be listening to and learning things, more robust things of substance. Because I got to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, first of all, you guys know that I hate doing the show. That's thing number one. I think this show is shit. I think the quality's shit. I think the execution's shit. And I'm starting to think the content's shit. That's a bummer because I used to love movies. And now I am getting to the point where I just want to do anything else but watch movies. That's where I'm at. How many more of my relationships need to suffer? How many more? Actually, fuck the relationships. My brain, I don't think, can switch gears as well as it could in the past in terms of like running the gamut of emotions. You know, it's starting to take its toll. But more importantly, are movies going to be like the thing that, I mean, they're not even a thing really now. You know, with the exception of like Marvel. You know, we're trending in a weird place. Now, do I think like maybe once upon a time before I die that we'll kind of come back because everything's secular, whatever? Yeah, I do. But I'm going to be very old and I'm going to be very cranky and I'm not going to care. And if you know me in my personal life, you know that once I turn 80, 85, I'm going to start doing heroin because at that point I don't give a shit and I want to try it. So, but no, dude, like the movie, I just more and more so when I started this, it was like I watch movies, but I don't like they're very niche to what I watch. Like when I would talk to friends and coworkers and whatever, and then I started the podcast because a lot of it was my YouTube the YouTube host that I like or the Twitch, and I was kind of bitter about that, and I'm not bitter about it now. Media is media. However you choose to relax, escape, whatever like that, it doesn't bother me anymore. It used to. However, now I've kind of switched into like people are just like, oh, I don't have the attention span. Do you have any idea how weird you sound when you say that to me? I don't have the attention span for a movie. So the joke that I always make is that you can watch 9 hours of The Office, but you can't watch a 2-hour movie. That don't make any sense to me. Oh, well, it ends after 45 minutes. But you're still watching. You're still sitting there. I don't. Like, and I get it if you have kids and shit like that. Like, you can't sit down and watch some of the stuff I review. It's too much. But more often than not, in fact, I would say like 8 times out of 10, the answer I get is I don't have the attention span. If you don't think that that's your phone and how you're choosing to spend your free time, if you don't think that how you choose to spend your free time isn't almost has a direct impact on you saying that you don't have the attention span to sit down and watch it, I hate to break it to you, but the phone and social media is killing you. And I don't know why nobody sees it. Either nobody sees it or nobody cares. Speaking of nobody cares, nobody wants to listen to me rant and rave how to live life, especially when I'm a piece of shit. As you see on your screen, your dial, however you are joining me today, Executioners of Shaolin. This is going to be the 7th. Oh, my goodness. The 7th installment in the Shawscope Collection Volume 1. Arrow Video presents Shawscope Collection Volume 1, which is 12 Shaw Brother films that, you know, are considered classics with the exception of The Mighty Peking Man, which I still am trying to figure out why The Mighty Peking Man is in this box set. I get it, like we're doing popular films, we're doing them in chronological order. I understand, I do, but it's the only one in the box set that's not a kung fu film. The rest of them are all classics like this one. Executioners of Shaolin is probably top 10. If we're talking old school kung fu films, yeah, I would say Executioners of Shaolin is up there just because it is so wild, especially how you have to defeat the villain priest Pai Mei or Pai Mei, because I don't understand. Like, if you look in the box set, it says Pai Mei. If you look online, it says Pai Mei. When you are watching the subtitles, it's Pai Mei with a B, Priest Pai Mei. And if you listen to any of the previous shows, I get real frustrated. I just want to know what did they say there? What did they say there? Well, they say both. That's confusing. Not that Americans don't do the same fucking shit, but that's confusing. So, who's in Executioners of Shaolin, one of my top 10 favorite classic kung fu movies of all time? Well, you got Chen Kuan-tai, who the boxer of Shang-Tung. He was in Shaolin. The list is vast. He is a Shaw Brothers staple. Listen to the other shows. Fuck it. You want me to tell you what fucking Chen Kuan-tai has been in? Jesus Christ. All right. He's been in Hamana. Let's go down a little bit here. Let's go into the classics. Okay. So what do we got here? We got The Bloody Fight, Man of Iron. That's a good one. Heroes 2. Fucking love that one. Heroes 2, 7-Man Army, Challenge of the Masters, The Spiritual Boxer. Did I say The Flying Guillotine? Flying Guillotine's in there. Where the fuck is the box? Oh, there it is. Boxer of Shang-Tung. That was 77. Big Bad Sis, Hero of Shanghai, Crippled Avengers, which we'll be talking about soon. The Master, Ninja Kung Fu Emperor, The Tycoon, Bong Joon, Return of the Bastard Swordsman, Lightning Fists of Shaolin, The Dancing Warrior. You get the point, right? Just been in a fucking shit ton of stuff. Lo Lieh, who King Boxer would be his most notable one. Everybody knows it well. Or Five Fingers of Death, whatever you prefer. What else did Lo Lieh do that you would know? Dragons Forever, which is Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, Yun Bu. Dancing Kung Fu, Warriors, Great Martial Arts Teacher, Immortal Warriors, Tiger Love, Zhulong, Fists of Fury 2, Death Duel. Man, I hope they do a re-release of Death Duel. That's like an hour and 25 minutes of just awesome. Same with Heroes 2. Just maybe I'll just do it on my own accord. I own them. Maybe I don't need to wait for a fucking remaster or a re-release. Wong Yu, actually Lo Lieh, who plays Priest Pai Mei. Make it fucking figure it out. Wong Yu, who plays Hung Wen Ting. Lieh. Wong Yu. See, that's another thing too. So in the what the fuck, man? In the subtitle, so I'm looking at IMDb right now, and it says Wong Yu plays Hung Wen Ting. Now, when you're watching it, it's Wending, Wending. You goddamn killing me is what you're doing. You're making my brain hurt. Which is it? Fuck's sake. Lieh, who plays Fang Yongchun, who is actually married to Chen Kuan-tai in this. It's such a funny fucking... I'll talk about some of the stuff that, like, when they get married, and we'll get there in a second. Gordon Liu's in this. He plays Tung Chien Chin. Kang-Yeh plays Hai Zhao Hu. Cao Ching Chung, played by Chiang Tao. Tien Ching, all of these people, they're just staples in the Shaw Brothers films. Tien Ching plays Wang Ye. Actually, we don't need to go over all of that, because literally, if you've seen one Shaw Brothers film, actually, if you've seen 5 Shaw Brothers films, you'd notice everybody is fucking... It's just... You'll even see Gordon Liu, who was in Kill Bill, played Pai Mei. You'll even see him just doing, like, extra work in the fights. Like fuck it. I had to freeze frame to make sure it was him. Maybe it was Challenge of the Masters, which he's the star of, which I found even funnier. He's the star of, but he's also doubling as, like, the villains. I should say, like second, third fiddle villain, but you shoot it fast, you can barely notice it, unless, I don't think they knew that we were going to have the freeze frame that we do now. An opening narration explains that the ruling Manchurian court has tracked a resistance movement against its rule to the Shaolin Temple, which they were using as a cover for their activities. They order one of their chief enforcers, priest Pai Mei or Pai Mei, to lead a raid on the temple. Pai Mei and his right-hand lieutenant, Governor Jin Zhang, led an army and set the temple ablaze. In a bid to save his students, the head priest of Shaolin, Chiang, engaged Pai... No, it's not Chiang. Who? Hold on a second. It is not... What? Hang Shi-Quan. Hang Shi-Quan is the fucking name in the... I just... Hang Shi-Quan. The opening credits play as Hang Shi-Quan and Pai Mei are shown engaging in their battle against a plain red screen backdrop, a Shaw Brothers staple if we're talking opening credit sequences. The kung fu duel seems close to evenly matched until Hang Shi-Quan executes a kick to Pai Mei's groin. I've been waiting to talk about this shit for a while. Pai Mei's groin, yes, that's right. Pai Mei's groin kicks him right in the dick, but guess what? Pai Mei fucking locks his foot up in there. He can't get his foot loose from Pai Mei's groin. But Pai Mei, as a eunuch, has no testes. Whoever wrote this synopsis, good for you. And has further trained his body that someone trying to kick him in the groin only ends up with their foot stuck between his legs. Pai Mei knocks Hang Shi-Quan. No, it's Hang Shi-Quan? No. Hold on, let me go to my notes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Hang Shi-Quan to the ground and drags him backwards by trapping his foot several yards, actually, before finally breaking both of the Shaolin high priest's legs. A contingent of rebels, led by the senior member of the government, Hang Shi-Quan, is fleeing the Shaolin Temple. Many rebels are wounded from fighting, some dropping as they run, and Hang has the urge of his best friend Jihu, another leader, to keep running. What? They meet up with another of the rebel captains, Ching Jin, take a drink, who is leading another contingent of rebel fighters. And Hong is alarmed that Tong is the only member of his contingent to escape. Tong brings news to Hang Shi-Quan. Tong brings news that Chishan, maybe I fucked up, was killed by Pai Mei. Hearing that his teacher and master have been killed, Hang Shi-Quan goes into a rage and tries to run back to the temple to exact revenge. Tong, Xiaohu, and all other men led by Hong all run after him to stop him. They know they've lost the battle, but a lot of their men have escaped, and trying to avenge Chishan now will only result in their rebellion being completely wiped out. They run into an ambush of Manchurian archers who take some more of the rebels down. Pretty bloody, this one. Tong is wounded, an arrow piercing his leg. He pleads with Hang Shi-Quan to take command, and then Tong takes a few soldiers to provide cover by engaging the archers, sacrifices himself. While the archers are reloading, Tong and his men rush at them to attack. Attacking with swords and hand-to-hand combat, they get through the archers. Tong is handling nearly the whole contingent of the Manchurian swordsmen by himself when Governor Cao Qinchong arrives. Governor Cao orders a small group of men with him to take Tong alive, but they are no match for him. Cao then sends a Ching court fighter to battle Tong. The Ching fighter is more of a match for Tong and seizes an early advantage. But when the Governor Cao mocks Tong and tells him not to resist, Tong becomes angry and even more fierce, taking on the Ching fighter and the rest of Cao's men all together and beating them. Finally, Tong reaches Governor Cao himself, and even Cao's kung fu fails against Tong's... I think we're supposed to be saying Hong here. Governor Cao is badly injured and loses his patience and orders the archers to kill Tong, even with the cost of friendly casualties. The rain of arrows take down several Manchurian fighters as well as Tong, and even in death, Tong's face is frozen in a look of stoicism and determination that gives Governor Cao pause. At the Manchurian court, Governor Cao, still hurt from his duel from Tong Chiquin, reports to the Royal Highness. The court is pleased with the success of the raid on the temple, but Cao is still deeply concerned with the ferocity of the Shaolin rebel resistance. Pai Mei is not worried. He is sure his victory over the Shaolin high priest has spread fear through the resistance and sent a message that his kung fu is unbeatable. He tells Governor Cao to simply continue his search without let up. And in the end, Pai Mei is sure that Cao will capture or kill all of the rebels. Hong Xiuquan and Zhao Hu have split up. Zhao and his men make their way to the border of Guangzhou, and come across a small town where a theater troupe is putting on a play based on a local figure named Yu Fei. The troupe is also part of the resistance movement. They use red boats to disguise themselves. And the Manchurians have tracked them to the town. A squad of Manchurian soldiers raid the theater. The troupe's leader, Master Chen, and a number of his men escape. Zhao Hu sees the men being pursued and rushes to aid them, killing the Manchurian pursuers and evildoers. Where are we? Chen brings Zhao Hu to a red boat. A group of Shaolin rebels that have established cover as the theater performers traveling along the riverways. They travel along the riverways by boat in disguise. Hong addresses the men on the boat, telling them to remember the temple and the priests and the brothers who died defending them. They have come back to Kuan-tai, a province under Governor Cao's control, to continue the fight. Hong says they must divide their strength and thus become more vulnerable to ensure that they are never completely wiped out. They will continue traveling and performing discreetly, giving aid to oppressed townfolk wherever possible, and engaging Manchurians in ongoing guerrilla tactics. At a riverside village, a woman named Fang Yongchun is giving a kung fu demonstration. The red boats arrive as she is giving her demonstration, and many of the villagers run to greet them, which makes Yongchun jealous. She complains to her uncle about the continued arrival wherever she and he go to stage their own performance. The red boat troupe debarks from their boat, giving their pitch to the villagers about their latest show, and giving a small kung fu demonstration as a sampler. A jealous Yongchun marches up to them and tells them that she thinks their kung fu is nothing special and orders them to leave the village. Zhao Hu, flustered, tells his men to escort Yongchun away. But Yongchun handles all of them easy. Lily Lieh just ass-beating throughout so skillful throughout most of this film. Zhao Hu spars with Yongchun himself. Fang himself, to find that she is able to take a stance so firm and stable that she cannot budge her legs and feet, even by kicking at them. She shrugs his blows off and kicks them away, causing the villagers to laugh. Hong Xiuquan arrives, and he's impressed with her technique. Yongchun offers to take him on, saying she has plenty of fight left in her. Intrigued, Hong spars with Fang, and the two of them are very evenly matched. As they battle, they recognize each other's style and technique. Hong is an expert in tiger kung fu, while Yongchun is a crane kung fu artist. So you got tiger style and crane style. Uncle Fang finally tells Yongchun to back down. Hong is impressed with Yongchun's skills, apologizing on behalf of the men. Seeing that Yongchun is also a traveling kung fu performer, he invites her and her uncle to travel with them on the red boat. Yongchun isn't too thrilled about the idea until she and Uncle Fang overhear Zhao Hu call Hong Brother Hong. Immediately, they recognize the name and know that he is Hong Xiuquan. Yongchun and Uncle Fang travel with the red boat, and then Yongchun and Hong begin to grow increasingly close, fall in love, you might say. Zhao Hu, who has become something of an incorrigible prankster from his time posing as a theater performer, jokes about needing that, and we don't need any of that. You know what? Some of the things that I wanted to talk about. The time lapse in this. I want to say about 16 years pass in this film as a whole. Maybe even more. I fucking love it. I know for a fact that Hong and Wang fall in love. They have a child. Actually, let's talk about what happens when they consummate the marriage. A little Chinese humor for you. When Hong is trying to get into bed and make the marriage official, with a little knocking boots, Fang won't open her legs, and Hong can't get them open. As aforementioned, she's got crane style, very strong legs, and there's a good 3-minute scene of him trying to get between her legs just so they can consummate the marriage. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So they have the child, right? Hong continues training. He wants to beat Pai Mei, or Pai Mei, whatever the fuck you want to say. But he hasn't been able to spar with real people because, as aforementioned, they've all divided up and it's all secrecy. You know, they're all kind of hiding out until they can. Doesn't matter. I hope that you sit down and watch this. What I love about this is the son becomes the father and the father the son. So a boy is born after they consummate the marriage, and a shit ton of time passes, right? Well, no, I don't want to ruin that for you. It's just because I think it's pretty sweet. Anyway, Hong goes after Pai Mei after the son's born. Must get through a gaggle, but it should be noted there's probably close to 20 fights in this film. It's fucking great. Between the sparring and the fights that you see, oh, so good. So he goes after Pai Mei. Must get through a gaggle of people, including swordsmen. Finally gets a crack at Pai Mei. And wouldn't you know it, Pai Mei beats that ass. Even after 10 years of training. And apparently, the dickless and ballless, and even though dickless and ballless, even though you wouldn't say that to his face, still beats that ass. Hong realizes he can't beat him, and he bails. Physically messed up, he rolls down the hill, steps out of the temple. Pai Mei knocks this giant cement structure of a bell down, and Hong rolls out of the way of it until, oh no, wouldn't you know, Zhao Hu steps in front of the cement bell and dies. His best friend just gets fucking steamrolled by it. And but it allows Hong to escape. Now home, Fang tends to Hong's wounds, and Wending is older now, wants to avenge Uncle Zhao. Even more time passes. Wending, now played by Wong Yu, is grown. Hong, now graying, continues to train. He trains on a very interesting device. He's trying to pull these marbles out of this metal structure of a man, and he is attempting to, I guess that's not a spoiler, he's practicing at getting pressure points, hitting Priest Pai Mei's pressure points. But it looks pretty sweet, and then once you see some of Hong and Wending spar, just, God, they're good. They're so good, dude. It's so well choreographed. It just bums me out for some of the shit that we see from the States. Now, you watch something out of Korea that's an action film, and 9 times out of 10, it's the exact shit that I'm talking about. It's innovative, it's slick, it's well executed, blah, blah, blah. We just don't see it in the States. I don't get it. And then I look at a film like this, and I'm thinking, how is it the fucking 25, almost 50 years ago, we haven't been. Do you guys watch the NFL? Could you imagine some of the guys playing now against people in the 70s? People would die. So, what I mean by that, how is it that we haven't stepped up our game in the States, in the West, when we are bigger, faster, stronger? For somebody like me, like, dude, Bad Boys is all fine, but like once we get to the 15th explosion, I'm out. I don't give a fuck, you know? But I'll never get tired of the chess match in hand-to-hand combat. Never fucking never. And I just don't understand how we can't do that now. Like, it's fucking enraging, dude. It's so well choreographed. And we have better cameras and everything because the choreography and the cinematography have to go hand in hand, and I just don't see how it wouldn't be fucking easier now. I don't get it. And yet, fucking people are like, dude, Bad Boys for Life is fucking dope, dude. It's not. It's okay, but like, so if we're talking that movie, if we're talking Bad Boys for Life specifically, the only good action moments in that for me is when Will Smith's son, well, the character that turns out to be his son, he's got some pretty slick hand-to-hand combat fights in that, but for the most part, dude. No. Let me walk it back. For a Bad Boys movie, it's fine. for an action epic that I'm looking for, yeah, let's mix in some more hand-to-hand combats. I don't need another gunshot. I don't need another car chase. I don't need another helicopter crash where the blades wipe out the side of the building and they roll out of the fucking way. That's fine for Marvel. It's not. I don't want to see Will Smith or Martin Lawrence doing that shit. Let's pass the torch. There's plenty of fucking people out there now. You know, a guest on my show, Sonny Pang. There is no reason Sonny fucking Pang should not be a fucking staple in the West. He's awesome at what he does, and he's a good fucking actor. He's a good fucking actor. And yet, you want to know who would have been a better villain in Bad Boys for Life than the villain that was? Sonny Pang. That's what I'm saying. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You know what else happens in this? A chopstick fight. Anytime you get a chance to see a chopstick fight in a movie, it's pretty sweet. What else in this film? There's some toxic masculinity. Hong Jiquan will not learn crane style from Fang because there's girl kung fu and there's man kung fu. I found that kind of kind of annoying because films prior to this, there's a couple films that they're like, well, you know, if you want to be good, you got to learn all types of kung fu. You can't confine yourself to one style. And in this, it is blatantly like, no, your woman kung fu stinks. But lucky, Wending trains Crane his whole life and fakes tiger style. Well, nope, that's a spoiler. Whoop. Well, I'll just... Please watch this one. This is top 10er for me. If we're talking classic Shaw Brother Kung Fu films, this is a top 10. Maybe top 5, and the only reason I'm saying top 10 is that it feels safe. Top 5, I'd have to really break it down. Because I know my number 1, if we're talking classic Kung Fu films, is Mad Monkey Kung Fu. And Warriors 2, probably. And then there would be a host of others. But definitely Mad Monkey Kung Fu and Warriors 2. So Mad Monkey Kung Fu, Lau Kar-leung, 2 Warriors, Sammo Hung. And Sammo Hung is one of my favorite cinematic martial artists of all time. So anyway, Executioners of Shaolin, this, you can't go wrong. And it's a Lau Kar-leung. And it's a Lau Kar-leung film. So sorry for the accidental fucking pause there. Anywho, Lau Kar-leung, written by Ni Kuang again, one of his 225 scripts. Shawscope Volume 1, Shaw Brothers, Ellis Cinema, Arrow Video. Look out!